All right. So let me just put us on mute. Okay, everybody. So let's just take a deep breath. And just show up in this moment. You have a whole day that you've been dragging around with you. You don't have to push it away. If you push it away, it's stuck to you. You just have to shift your attention to this moment, something you've done many times before. You just arrive right where you are. There's a part of you that comes here, pushing and pulling along a timeline. You have to let that go. Drop into the expansive now. So that this eternal moment can open up in front of you. Just breathe from that space. Breathe from that space, and those other moments will just start to fall away. And what's left is you outside your life story. You outside the prison of your likes and your dislikes. Outside your confining attitudes and opinions. In this moment, you're free. No matter what story you had going before you got here, if you can shift your attention, you're free. It's only a shift in the attention standing between you and an alternate universe. And it isn't some practice to hide in. The hiding is what you were doing before you got here. Keeping yourself distracted with some story. Instead, you're letting go of the story, dropping that veil, and showing up for what's happening right here, right now. What is the experience that persists when my words drop away? What is the experience that persists when my words drop away? What is that experience that is not held up by words? That experience that isn't conjured from a personal story? You either show up on the edge of your seat to attend to this moment, or you slip backwards into your fantasies and illusions. Slip backwards into whatever's on TV in your head. One is real and one is conjured. One is self-existent, requiring no energy or force or manipulation to experience it. And the other is a series of distractions built on the components of a false narrative. What is that experience that persists at the end of my words. And can you abide there? Let's breathe in that timeless space for a while. For any newcomers, the way we do that is we place our attention at the forehead and crown. We keep our eyes open because you live with your eyes open. And from that place, you just attend to the breath. As you breathe in, you're aware that you're breathing in, you're feeling your lungs expand, your skin stretch. As you exhale, you're riding that exhale all the way down. And in between the inhale and the exhale, in those transition moments, lies that gap of nothing space. It's the same moment that appears when I stop talking. That vacuum of no story. And you just become aware of it in between the transitions of the breath. Step into that for a while. See if you can make that your home for a while. And then we'll talk. It's not about holding everything in place or pushing away. You have to let go into it. It's not an act of will. It's an act of willingness. You make it your home. That way it doesn't take any energy to stay there. You're not standing stuck where you are and reaching into a different place. You're abandoning where you are for where you want to go. It's actually the secret to any change you could ever want to make in your life. And the reason that change scares people. You have to abandon where you are for where you want to go. You never lose anything in that process. The past is always there. It just gives you new places you can call home. Step into this moment and make it your home. Abandon your day and step into this moment. Make it your home. In difficult times, this is your only road forward. But you need to have disciplined yourself into that shift. It's what meditation prepares you for. What if you just really let go now? Just released yourself into this moment. Just gave yourself to the shift. Let this be the stable place. Rather than something you're reaching into, step into it and stabilize. Come forward. I'm here waiting for you. Step forward into this moment. And just be present for what is. Don't try and name it. Just experience it. What is the feeling of this moment without you? nowhere to get to, nothing to understand. It's all right here. We're living in a challenging time. Our countries are out of balance, not just the US, but globally. The human race is divided in stupid ways. Our planet is suffering. And the world is responding with feeling. And all of that on top of the stories of the people that you're connected to, and all the things going wrong in their lives. You rarely hear of anything going right anymore. It's just not a time for that. And most people don't know who they are outside of the web of stories. But you do. You who practice spiritually have experienced the you beyond you. But we all have to sleep sometime. And when we do, everything we're connected to starts moving inside of us. Many of us wake up in it. At first, unaware that it isn't our feeling. And as we try and relax our focus so that we can work, that lack of vigilance allows it to all come in and color everything in front of us. At some phases of human evolution, the best you can do for large portions of your day is be aware that you can't trust your feelings. The brain will ask, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel so anxious? Why do I feel so guilty? Why do I feel this dread? And because the brain is just an answer machine, it's going to go through your personal past and pull reasons forward. But they're not accurate reasons. If you feel dread at work, it's not because work is dreadful. It's because you're feeling dread at work. If you feel hopeless in waking up and starting your day, it's not that your day is hopeless. It's that you're getting through your day while feeling an energy of hopelessness. In the early stages of spiritual sensitivity, we just feel like, oh, well, we should just stay focused and that should go away. And yes, when you are very focused, you can gain some freedom from that the way we do in this class. But nobody can live like that all the time. Any teacher that ever tried to convince me that they were lying. And I know because I was an avid student of them. There's no scenario where you don't have to feel the world around you. But when things are really bad and you can't get any distance from it, you can at the very least understand what's happening and know that you can't trust what you're feeling. And if you want to know what's real, shift your attention to the space between the breath. Enter deeply into this moment and perceive what is. And you'll find that when you are on the peak of that wave, when you are really as deep into that as you can go, you will be free from all stories. But the true spiritual path is not a path of escapism. And you didn't come to this world to find comfort. You came to this world to grow in the face of challenge, to stay awake when the feeling waters of the story kind of rise up to your neck. You won't be here forever. It's shorter than you think. And there's a lot of growth to be had from challenge. So find your freedom so that when the waters are allowed to rise again, you know what's true and what's just part of the story. It'll still feel challenging. But at least it won't direct your actions and your sense of self. What's the difference? It's a huge difference. When you're drowning in other people's stories and you don't know what's real, like I said, You ask your mind, why am I feeling this way? And the mind gives you reasons, just based on whatever is stored in your brain. And in doing so, if you believe it, you actually take it on as part of your personal karma. You map it to your life story. And then you react to it, and you become one more person dumping that ugliness into the world around you. You are spiritual warriors. You're bigger than that. You've been at this too long to fall into that trap. When you know what's real, you don't take it on. You're still swimming in it, but you don't weave it into your personal story. You become an antidote to it to the extent that you're able. But in times like these, you're probably not going to fix the problem. This is a time of mass challenge and mass growth. And it's okay. You have to stay awake within it. You have to endure. And whenever you need a break from it, you just do what I've been teaching you to do for years. You show up on the razor's edge of this present moment, and you stay there with every breath. Not by clinging to it, but by releasing yourself from the story. Are there any questions about that before we go back into meditation? What I'm saying is nothing new, but it's the teaching of a lifetime. It's that thing that if you can master it, then you can make major steps forward, whether the market is up or down. Major steps forward, whether the wind is at your back or whether you're drowning in other people's crap. Okay. Attention at the forehead and crown. Keep your eyes open. And let's just step deeply into this moment. So that the energy can flow through us unfiltered by the stories of others. Let go of time. Sit here as if you've always been sitting here. As if there's nothing to compare it to. If you can do that, the veil will part. This week, I want you to set a trigger for yourself. When you're starting to get lost in the bad feelings of life, remember that you can't trust that feeling. And that doesn't mean that if you are awake and moving through your world and you receive some feeling information, that doesn't mean that you can't trust that feeling information. What you can't trust is the meaning that you start assigning to life according to these feelings that just kind of inundate your body. The meaning of life is entirely flexible. It's mostly up to you. And whenever it doesn't feel that way, you need to remind yourself that you can't trust that feeling. This week, let that wakefulness live alongside those bad feelings. Just let them sit together in that space. Let them communicate with each other. The energy of wakefulness with the energy of sleepiness. And see what you can see. Any questions before we end for the night? Okay, everybody. Have a great week. I will be here again next Thursday. Bye.
Thanks, Liam.
Thank you.